Hi everybody and welcome back to Underdog Factory. My name is Tristan. Um, it's been a while. So long story short, been sick, starting to feel better. I'm very glad to be feeling better. Time to get back to work. So in this video, what I want to talk to you guys about is monetization theory. Okay, and we want to talk a little bit about like the psychology and the marketing stuff that goes into actually monetizing your content on YouTube. And the way that I like to do this is I like to use Maslow's hierarchy of needs as a reference. I have a couple of videos on that here on the channel. We're just going to focus on one part of that today, though. I just want to do one section, and then we'll do another section, another video, and so on and so forth. Just that way we can go really deep into what these things are and how these things work, and how you can use this to make more money from your YouTube channel in an ethical way that actually provides value, something valuable, or a benefit to your viewers. So the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the base level is physical needs. We need oxygen. We need ground to walk on. We need shelter. We need clothing in some parts of the world. It's snowing outside right now, and I still have a foot and a half of snow. If you were to go outside right now naked, you would not have a great time. I mean, you would at first, but like after like 20, 30 minutes, you would not be having a good time. So we have basic needs that we need in order to actually survive, right? Now you're thinking, okay, Tristan, that's interesting, and I enjoyed the snow joke, but how does that relate to gaming? So I think that we can take this pyramid and we can apply it to gaming. And so if we were to look at the base level of gaming, like the base necessities of gaming, what would that be? And I think the easiest way to think of it would be like escapism, right? So you have somebody whose life is so miserable, or who is so isolated, depressed, stressed, or frightened, or whatever. Somebody who is trying to escape the real world, and they do that by going into their video games. And that's not always going to be like an extreme thing, right? Sometimes it's just going to be something as simple as, hey, I had a crappy day at work, I'm going to go blow off some steam in Elden Ring. Or, gee, I'm really stressed about my car breaking down, I'm going to play some Fortnite for a little bit and just kind of relax. So it's escaping, from those situations, escapism, okay? So we need to then step back and kind of look at this and think, okay, what exactly does somebody who is trying to escape from real life problems need that a YouTuber can help them acquire, okay? And then how do we monetize that? So typically you're going to be looking for things that are going to make that escapism either easier, more efficient, or more enjoyable, okay? So like those are going to be your three main things. And that's where a lot of YouTubers kind of seem to focus, okay? This is going to be things like having funny videos. These are going to be like your 10 crazy tricks in the game, or something like that. Just something that's like really, really simple, okay? Your idea or your goal is really just to entertain that person. It's to help them be distracted, right? So you create distracting content. How do you create distracting content? You're going to create something that's engaging. You're going to create something that's going to grab their attention and keep it, so that way they can spend a whole hour watching your video, and they're like, oh, I just spent an hour watching this video. And so the kind of content that resonates most with this particular group is going to be things like Let's Plays. It might be game reviews. So they might have limited funds, and they're trying to figure out which game they're going to use for their escapism or escapist-ish actions in the future, right? Like, hey, I've got 30 bucks. I want to buy a video game, but I don't know which one. Other things that perform really well are going to be things like live streams. They're going to be longer theory, lore videos, some of those kind of in-depth things. I really like watching like the documentary type videos on YouTube. So like the history of Pokemon Blue, which ended up being like a 30-40 minute long video, and I watched the whole thing just because I was having a bad day at work and I was dealing with some problems, and I think, okay, I need to do something else. I need to get out of this. So an easy way to look at this would also be like, what do you do, or what kind of content are you drawn to when you're stressed out, or when you're trying to, maybe not necessarily avoid, but when you've got something going on, you're like, I don't want to deal with this right now. I'm going to go watch some YouTube. And then when you're creating your content, kind of have that in mind. You don't want to specifically say, hey, if you're having a crappy day at work, watch this video. Might work, test it, test everything. That's the answer to every question in life. And then the next question is, how do we monetize that? What's going to be the best methods for monetizing that kind of content? So that way you have the resources that you need in order to continue creating that content, continue helping this audience, right? I think there's a couple different options. So the first main one, probably the easiest one, is going to be AdSense. And the main reason for that is because This is a very, very broad problem that people have. So there's going to be a very large audience of people who have this problem. That means there's going to be a very large audience of people who are going to be watching this kind of video. And so typically if you have larger numbers, you're going to get more views, and that's where AdSense starts to make sense. Typically, I'm not a huge fan of AdSense. I don't like it being your primary source of monetization just because you have very little control over it. And honestly, the rates kind of suck. There are better options, but it's viable in certain cases, and I think this is one of them. Another thing that would be really good would actually be affiliate marketing, especially if you can get in and do stuff for gaming companies or for game developers, publishers. Same thing with sponsorships. So you can have the live stream and say, all right, look, or the let's play. Like, okay, hey, we're going to do a let's play of League Shadow Legends, right? And it's going to be sponsored by League Shadow Legends. Maybe somebody's seen the commercials or the shout-outs a billion times, like, you know what, okay, let's actually take a look at the game. I actually kind of like it, don't tell anybody. Except for League Shadow Legends, I want them to sponsor me, because they pay really good. So, like, that would be another option. Again, the affiliates or the sponsorships. Now, the affiliates can actually give you an interesting opportunity if you are going after the person who is looking for a video game to, again, perform their escapist activities, but they may not have a huge budget for it. And so if you can create a YouTube channel dedicated to cheaper, discounted, less popular, lower priced games that are on platforms that have some sort of affiliate offer attached to it, so like Microsoft has an affiliate program, and you can sell or like promote a game using your affiliate links and you get a commission for it. It's not a huge commission, but again, if you're getting a lot of people watching your videos, then it works out, and you're still making more money than you would through AdSense. So you can double, triple your AdSense revenue and still get the AdSense revenue at the same time. So instead of making $1, you can make $4 or $5 from that same traffic. And the only difference is saying, hey, if you want to buy this game, there's a link in the comments, and then putting that link in the comment. And then another option that's worth exploring that I would recommend that, at least setting up and testing would be your Patreons, your donations, your subscription type stuff. Because if somebody's able to find a consistent and reliable source of escapist, I'm trying to think of the best word to phrase that, of content that lets them perform their escapist activities, they're going to want to support that. They're going to want to make sure that they have that consistent source of escapism, right? And so it doesn't have to be a lot. It can be $1, it can be $5 per month, something really cheap like that. And what's cool about that then is, again, if your normal CPMs are $2 or $3, right? Then if somebody donates $1 to you, and that one person is now worth between 500 and 300 people or views. And that builds up. Like if you've got, say you've got 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and let's say 10 of them decide they actually want to support you financially and they're going to donate $5 a month, right? That's $50 that you're getting, plus like maybe 10 from the YouTube or from like AdSense. So again, not a huge amount of money, but that's scalable, right? That's going to continue to increase as your channel grows. And now instead of only getting $10 to work with to grow your channel, now you have $60 that you can work with to grow your channel. And so that's a very, very big difference. And again, 1% of 1,000 people is 10 people, right? So if you can get 1% of your audience to give you $5 a month, you're going to be in really good shape. And like the way you get that to happen is you have to provide that really, really valuable content, that stuff that's really, really going to help them. But you need to know what that problem is. You need to create content then that helps and like focuses on that problem. And so that's kind of why we're going back and we're talking about things like Maslow. That's why we're talking about these, why making this series, right? And so it's important to understand that. And the other thing to keep in mind is that somebody is only going to support you financially if you're doing something really good, if you're making really good videos, if you are entertaining them, if you're helping them accomplish their goals. And so like, you can't just throw up videos on YouTube and expect to get paid for it. And especially if you're trying to get money or if you're trying to get that financial support from like actual human beings. So it's really, really important to understand this and to have, to keep this in mind when you're creating your content. Like, okay, who am I making this video for? What's the problem I'm trying to help them solve? How am I going to help them solve it? And then what's the action I want them to complete when they're finished with this video? Typically it's going to be watching another video, but sometimes it's going to be, hey, go sign up for my coffee, go sign up for my Patreon, go sign up for my Subscribestar, go sign up for my OnlyFans. I don't actually have an OnlyFans, but I would totally upload YouTube tutorials and stuff on there if I did. But that's the process. That's your base level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. In the next video, we're going to talk about that next level up, which is entertainment. So again, we're going to be diving a little bit more into like how to actually make your content entertaining, what constitutes entertaining for different types of viewers, and again, looking at those psychological needs and how we can monetize that stuff in the future. So stick around, go check that out, and go watch my other, I think I have 2 videos on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I'll stick those up so you can go and watch those too. Bye!